Welcome. I am Pamela Battalato, and I'm here with two representatives from JCC Camps at Medford. Thanks to Sarah Seidman and Jared Kaufman for being here with us today. We are going to have a chat and share some video with you so you can learn more about JCC Camps at Medford, their programs, and their history. So to get started, we want to talk about what makes JCC Camps at Medford so unique.
JCC Camps at Medford has a really rich history in South Jersey and more recently in Philadelphia and in the Philly community. Our camp is celebrating its 80th summer this season, which is really exciting. And one of the things that's unique about us is not only do we have a number of second generation campers who attend camp, we even have third generation campers who attend. Many of whom come in from Philadelphia because their parents or grandparents grew up in New Jersey. And many of those kids come in from Philly to attend camp, which is something that's really unique and very special. We're one of the only Jewish nonprofit day camps in Southern New Jersey, and we're one of the largest day camps in the country. We serve approximately 1,300 to 1,400 campers every summer and hire about 500 to 600 employees, depending on the summer. We serve from Philadelphia all the way to the Jersey Shore. So we make transportation as simple as humanly possible for families, making camp really accessible whenever possible. But I also think in addition to sort of our history, that our environment is one of the most unique parts of camp.
I echo those statements. The setting of JCC Camps in Medford is one of the most special places in the world. We are situated on 120 acres in the middle of the Pinelands, so lots of woods. When you think camp, you think lots of activities, everything from multiple pools, a 4-acre lake, little nature trails, a nature center, lots of sports fields, you name it, we probably have it. It's all because of really our vast space and the amazing environment that we sit in. It is truly the best place possible. When you think going out in the middle of the summer and enjoying being outside, camp is the best place for you to be.
It sounds like a really special place, and I'm sure having that tradition and continuity is even more important than ever right now. Because, as you know, since March 2020, our kids have been living in a completely different world than ever. Can you tell us a little bit about how JCC Camp at Medford is adapting to these changes and helping kids go through all these feelings and just the changing world?
I think it's a great question. Social and emotional learning is such a huge part of everything right now. Schools, camps, any sort of education setting that children are in. But camp has the unique opportunity to strip all of the stressors of the academics away and purely focus on social and emotional during the summer. We had already been serving with, our population with a really incredible inclusion experience, where we serve typically about 120 campers with special needs in a fully inclusive camp setting. And what we learned this past year is that our typical campers were struggling even more than our campers with special needs, that they were struggling socially, they were struggling and stunted emotionally because their school year had been so challenging and pushed back, and they really hadn't had that opportunity for growth during the school year. So we were really thrilled when we received a grant from Foundation for Jewish Camp. It's called the Yedid Nefesh grant, and gave us the opportunity to hire a full-time seasonal mental health coordinator. We call this position our camper and staff care director, and she's a social worker, and she has really done so much in helping us look at sort of what it is that we do across the board in camp and where social and emotional growth plays into it. And more importantly, helping us manage some of those challenges. And those challenges look different at every age, right? For little ones, it might be one thing, it might be behavior. For our older ones, it's maybe managing anxiety or depression. We want to be there to support these kids so that they're not only getting through the summer, but they're coming out the other side of it that much stronger. If we can build, better kids, then we've very much done our job as a summer camp.
That sounds amazing and really, really unique. I think it'd be a really great benefit for so many of our kids to have that kind of support on a daily basis, whether it's kind of overt, during special sessions or just having that kind of training on site. So our next question was asking about the Jewish aspect of JCC Camps at Medford. Is it a requirement for your campers to be of the Jewish faith? And if not, how do you incorporate the Jewish faith and those children who aren't practicing?
You are not required to be Jewish to come to the JCC Camps at Medford. We are open and welcoming to people of all faiths and backgrounds. However, we are a Jewish camp. We are very deeply rooted in Jewish values and education and traditions. One of the things I always like to say is we never water down who we are. We are a Jewish camp. That is our identity, and we don't water that education down. But because we are a secular Jewish camp, we really make that Judaism accessible to everyone, whether they identify as Jewish or not. And so much of the education that comes out of camp are the same humanistic values that everyone wants for their children. Everyone wants to teach their children about respect and about taking care of the earth and being kind to others. And it's just the lens through which we do it that is really that Jewish education. Each year we write a Judaic theme, and it becomes this big piece of who we are. And so that also is such an important piece of how we create opportunities for Jewish education. We celebrate Shabbat every Friday, and it has this opportunity to have a taste and a smell. We bring in local clergy, both from New Jersey and Philadelphia, and it just really creates this opportunity for community, which is very special.
I love that you incorporate them into the larger summer theme so that they're really experienced rather than taught at you. Can you tell us more about the themes that you've done? And maybe give us a little sneak peek about what this summer's theme will be?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we really felt very strongly that we didn't want the campers to go from soccer to arts and crafts to GAN or Hebrew school, right? We wanted the kids to have education just sort of woven into what they do so that it's always fun and always accessible for the kids. So we write a theme every year, and that curriculum gets woven into all of the kids' activities. So for example, last year, our theme was Giborim, it was heroes, which was the perfect year to do it, to be able to focus on community heroes and Judaic heroes and superheroes. And so a kid would go to arts and crafts, and rather than just focusing on, okay, today we're making a box, it might be, well, today our hero was Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and we were learning about her and all of the things that she did for both Jews and people around our country. And they were making lace collar designs, or in cooking, they made lace cookies, like lace chocolate cookies. So there's always that education woven into it, but in the end, it's a project and it's fun and it's camp, so that it's really very relatable, and the kids are going home talking about those moments. This coming summer, our theme is Machane Bashamayim. It's camp in the sky, or camp is out of this world. And the kids are going to be focusing on all things related to the sky, outer space, stars, birds, rainbows, and everything that's related to them. And there will be stories and songs and all sorts of fun opportunities for education woven into their activities.
That sounds like so much fun. I wish I was young enough to go to summer camp again. I'm always so jealous of my kids when they come home from their summer camps, whether it's day camp or sleepaway camp, and see how much fun they've had. And I can tell how much hard work the camp counselors and directors have put into all of the activities and themes and traditions that they get to experience on a daily basis. It's really incredible. With so many kids on so much land, how does JCC Camps at Medford make things personal to establish those much needed connections with each kid?
We are on a large campus. We have a lot of campers, but we pride ourselves on creating that small camp experience for all of our families. So that starts from when we first give a family a tour, that's their intro to becoming part of our camp family. And we get to know the camper, we get to know their family alongside them. And they grow with us over their years with us at camp. And we get to know them year after year after year. And we learn and we know about them on that personal level. So we get to know what those kids' interests are. We get to know what those kids love to do each and every summer. And again, we try to build our camp program around what we know our kids love to do. But beyond that, our camp environment is built to accommodate a smaller camp experience. And what I mean by that is, while we're on 120 acres, our camp is broken into smaller camp programs within the larger entity. So we keep referring to us as the JCC Camps at Medford. We really are a series of multiple camps, all age broken down within our larger campus. We have a program for our pre-K through entering first graders, and those campers have their own area of camp, their own little land within our campus, their own pools, their own fields, things like that. They really are in their own little area with their own layers of supervision. So they have a seasonal director and assistant. They have division heads who are overseeing a specific age range, counselors within their bunk. It really becomes a much smaller experience. The same thing goes for our Camp Shalom program for our campers entering 2nd through 4th. And then finally, our Camp Aaron program for our campers entering 5th to 8th. We also have a travel program. And on top of that, a program for our campers entering 9th. But truly, the experience is built so that kids are experiencing camp in a world with kids only within their age range and getting that layer of supervision and that layer of attention that we know our families desire and that we can most certainly provide.
We don't typically do field trips from our campus for our general camp population. We do run a travel program, and those campers only travel. That is their whole experience. We did run a modified version of that program last summer, so our campers did still take day trips. We didn't do any overnights. Our hope is to go back to our regular model of trip programming experiences where the kids are going on their overnights, but we're still sort of figuring out what that all looks like. In fact, I think Jared just had a meeting today specifically about travel. In terms of buses, we are very blessed. We've worked with the same bus company for 60 years, and we have a very long relationship with them. They work all year round to ensure that camp can happen. In fact, we have a dedicated staff member on their team who works to plan our busing during the summer. She's incredible. And so we're really fortunate that while, yes, we know that there's a bus shortage in the world, that we really believe that together, along with our partners at Safety Bus, that they're going to make sure that we have a successful camp season.
I'm sure that's a huge relief to so many families that rely on the busing to really get their kids back and forth to camp every day.
Yeah, I guess going off of that, a lot of kids do come to JCC camps from the city because it gives them such a different, almost bucolic experience, like with all of the land. So can you kind of describe almost like a day in the life overview for these kids, basically from the time they're picked up to drop off with the busing and what their day is like?
Sure. I think first and foremost, I love the city. It's a great, it's a great place to be, but there's truly nothing better than being able to run around on sports fields at every turn, having another activity, pools at every turn. There is nothing better than having that chance in the summer to come out to camp and to experience something different. And this is most of what we're able to provide. But in terms of the day in the life, the camp day starts truly when that camper gets on the bus in the morning. There's a bus counselor to greet them, the bus driver's on the bus, obviously, and they are there to start that camp day. It is, if you ask most of our kids what part of the day is their favorite part of the day, many will tell you the bus ride to and from is some of their favorite times within the camp day, because it's truly, that is part of the camp day. When the kids arrive to camp, though, they're greeted to a big dance party, essentially. There's music playing in our bus yard, lots of our staff in costumes. We are there to start the day on the right note. And we don't care if it's a cloudy day, the hottest day of the year, a rainy day, we are always pumped up to greet our campers in the morning. Then our kids start on their regular activity schedule. So depending on your age range, your day is gonna be a very liberal arts style day, meaning you're in a little bit of everything. So if you might start your day doing to an arts and crafts activity, then going to the pool for a swim, then maybe going to lunch, going to have your lunch, which we do provide every single day. Maybe to a more active activity, going to play soccer or going to play kickball, back to the pool for maybe instructional swim, so on and so forth. You get the idea. It is truly a mixed bag of everything. For our 5th to 8th graders, though, it's our Camp Aaron program. And that program is a choose your own type of schedule, and that our campers get to pick the activities that they want to enjoy the most. So if you love sports, you can build your day around sports activities. If you love crafts, you can build your day around crafts, and so on and so forth. In general, though, you're getting an incredibly immersive experience in all different walks of life and all different activities, all while growing your own personal skills, social skills, life skills, and beyond. It's an all-in experience.
I'd also like to add, when it comes to the property and having that experience of leaving the city, one of the really unique perks of our camp is that it turns into a swim club on the weekends. So on Saturdays and Sundays from 12 to 6, one of our pools, our splash pad, and our lake are accessible, and it's included in camp tuition for all camp families and all of our staff. So a lot of our Philly families do actually utilize it if they're not shore goers, right? Like if they're not heading to Margate or Ventnor for the weekend, on a Saturday or Sunday from 12 to 6, you can find a lot of our Philly families coming out using the pools, being out at Medford, playing Gaga, running around on the playgrounds, etc. It's a really unique perk. And you see a lot of the camp families make plans to meet up. They have their own little communities that they start to build, which is a lot of fun. We saw it a lot this past summer, especially as people still weren't going on vacation yet, that sort of thing, that families were really, really utilizing Weekend Swim Club.
Wow.
I had no idea. That is really amazing.
amazing.
I mean, when we talk about building community, it's one of our core values at Mainline Parent and Philadelphia Families. So to give those families that option included in their tuition, to have a place to go on the weekends, to stretch out beyond the boundaries of their home, to get to know the other families that the children are spending their days with, is really, really incredible. So clearly, we think that JCC Camps at Medford sounds like a really awesome place for kids of any age to come and spend their summer. If our viewers are looking for more information, how do they get it? Are you running in-person tours, only virtual tours? People love to be able to get out on a campus and really get a feel for a place. So where do they go? What do they do?
Absolutely. So the best thing to do is head to our website. Right under the section for prospective families, there's a page called Take a Tour. And so, yes, we are running in-person camp tours. We've already ran a number of them. We started over the summer for next summer, but we've already run a number this fall, and we'll continue to until it's too miserably cold to do so. And then we'll start them again in the spring. We also do run winter virtual tours, which are great. And I will say gave us an opportunity to get to know a number of families on a really personal level, because they were these small group virtual tours where we could schmooze and talk about their kids and their particular interests, which, when you talk about building community, for us, gave Jared and I a lot of insight into really getting to know these families in a very special way. But tours are open and ready. There's a link to sign right up for them. It makes it really convenient. Add it right to your calendar, and we're ready and raring to go to welcome people to camp.
Thank you so much for sharing with us so much information about JCC Camps at Medford. This was great, very informative. And if anybody sees our video and sends any questions our way, we'll be sure to connect them with you, Sarah. Thank you.